The world we live in currently is on tenterhooks at a very vulnerable stage, and the next phase could be very crucial. The satellite map shows here Tower 22. This is a US military outpost situated on the volatile Jordan-Syria border. This has been at the center of a conflict that could escalate regional tensions at an alarming rate. Here's what happened. On 28th of January, a drone attack wreaked havoc here, leading to the loss of life of 3 servicemen and 34 others receiving injury. A group, Islamic Resistance in Iraq, claimed responsibility. In what seems to be a spiral in series of attacks, this group has been, at least claiming to, of targeting US and Israel forces. US President Joe Biden responded sharply, attributing these attacks to Iran-backed radical militant groups.
We lost 3 brave souls in attacking one of our bases.
Yes.
And I'd ask you to hold the silence for all 3 of those fallen soldiers.
Jesus.
And we shall respond.
This brings me to the main point. USA and Iran are known arch rivals. In Iran, maximum protest slogans are usually "Death to America." Both countries have tried in the past few years to normalize relationship, especially with regard to the nuclear deal. But for example, in 2020, Iran's top military commander, General Qasem Soleimani, was killed in a US drone strike. Iran had vowed severe revenge, even pulling back from the 2015 nuclear accord. So there has been very clear, direct animosity between America and Iran. There have been attempts to friendship, there have been attempts to normalize diplomatic relations, but there's almost always a grave pause that comes in. This casualty toll, however, may worsen the situation, and this is not in isolation. Ever since Hamas's attack on 7th October on Israel, constant escalations have been witnessed in the region. Not just with regard to Israel, but also USA, one of Israel's main supporters. Apart from Hamas, Houthis, Hezbollah launched attacks one by one, all believed to be backed by Iran. Ships attached to Israel or Western nations started to be targeted in the Red Sea. US and UK then targeted the Houthi targets. According to the United States Central Command in March 2023, Iranian proxies have attacked US troops 78 times using sophisticated weaponry like drones and rockets since January 2021 in barely 2 to 3 years. Especially the latest one when the soldiers lost their life. And remember, when a country's soldiers are killed or continue to be killed, no government can brush it under the carpet for long. Why am I telling you all this? It's because USA and Iran tensions can escalate to a regional conflict or a global war. On the US side are the NATO allies, specifically the Western nations like the United Kingdom, France, Germany. Turning to Iran's camp, we see most of the Middle Eastern nations as allies, as Lebanon and Yemen. Saudi Arabia, interestingly, while has taken on Iran, but there's no clarity of their contribution militarily if there will be a full-fledged war. Same with Iran's neighbor nation, Iraq. Iraq and Iran face issues with each other. But will it outright proceed with military assistance if required? Experts say focus on China and Russia. They are relatively quiet for now, but signs have pointed that they could be leaning toward Iran. Russia has been an ally of Iran since the Syrian war. China has expressed willingness to establish a comprehensive strategic partnership with Iran. Both China and Russia have been in support of Palestine, which is believed to have Iran's support in more ways than one. So now that many countries are watching this closely, possibly will get dragged to eventually, where does India stand? What will India do? What should India do? Till now, India has largely been neutral. But if you observe closely, specifically in the latest developments, Iran and Pakistan have witnessed recent tensions and how there have been attacks to which India has emphasized zero tolerance stance toward terrorism and also a country's right to self-defense. Pakistan, we all know, continues to be badgered from all corners for sheltering terror activities and especially against India. Likely now, Iran realizes that too. So then let's look at the relationship of India with Iran and USA. India-Iran relationship have been interesting and friendly. The two countries shared a border till 1947, till Pakistan was carved out in the middle. Diplomatic talks were established in 1950. And ever since Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2016, visits have been consistent to and fro, and there have been Iranian delegations visiting India too. India has also maintained a strong independent policy with friends. With the United States of America, India enjoys a comprehensive global strategic partnership, specifically in defense and security. And this relationship has definitely seen improvement in the past few years. According to the US State Department, it calls the relationship as, and I quote it here, one of the most strategic and consequential of the 21st century. USA now sees India's emergence as a leading global power and a vital partner in promoting a peaceful, stable and a prosperous Indo-Pacific region. There have been regular 2+2 ministerial dialogues too. India has maintained an independent policy throughout. For example, even in September 2022, the US imposed sanctions on an Indian-based oil company because it conducted deals with Iran during strict US sanctions. But India has stood ground. But these ongoing events, remember, may directly affect India's economic interests too. It will not be easy for a country to constantly have an impartial, independent, neutral stand. Will it have to take a side? To ensure safe passage for the merchant ships in the region, specifically around the Middle East, the Indian Navy has increased presence in the Persian Gulf due to these attacks by Houthi recently. Indian Navy's INS Vishakhapatnam, you should know, responded to even a distress call recently from a British oil tanker in the Red Sea. The UK merchant vessel MV Merlin Rwanda caught fire following an alleged Houthi attack off the Yemen coast in the Gulf of Aden. Indian Navy helped firefight it. Fantastic, incredible, I would say. But remember, it's a reflection of the times happening even in commercial passageways of which India has a lot of stake in. As I conclude, this is a developing story. Let's hope there is no World War III in our lifetime. Unlike the 1940s, remember, today's global order is massively interdependent. Any escalation will result in a heavy loss of people and property. Pentagon has said that the United States of America does not want an escalation, does not want war. They've also said they hope neither would Iran want it. But we would better watch out and prepare. India for now remains neutral, remains friendly with most nations. But it is also gearing up to save and defend its territory and interests on land and on sea. Thank you for watching.